Okay, test number two.
I can't not look. I'm
Okay,
having a hard time.
It's okay. We can just. It's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to do a little test? Let's do a test. Do your
Okay.
intro.
You go first.
Oh, okay. So, my name is Rochelle. I am a mother. I am married. I have 2 children, Tucker and Carter. My son Carter is 8 years old, and he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes on December 30th, 2016. I work full-time, and I am learning every day about diabetes and what it means to be a type 1 diabetic mom. Oh, and we have a dog.
I have 3 dogs and 2 cats. I'm Shelly. I have 4 kids, and yeah, I already lost my train of thought because I'm
Keep
super
going.
nervous. Okay. So I'm Shelly. I have 4 kids. 2 of them have type 1 diabetes, Corbin and Brooklyn, and I've been on this journey now about 4 years, just a little bit over 4 years. Brooklyn was diagnosed September 1st, 2013 at 25 months, and it was crazy.
25 months, so what is that, like 2 years and
2 years and 1 month.
1 month? Okay.
Yes, she was barely potty trained when she was diagnosed. It was insane. And right after she was diagnosed, you know, you take those classes right after you're released from the hospital, and we were introduced to something called TrialNet, and we can talk more about that later. But our family loves all things research, and TrialNet is a research thing, so we signed the whole family up. It's a quick blood test, and got the TrialNet results back for Corbin, and he was antibody positive and got his official type 1 diabetes diagnosis 5 months after Brooklyn. So it's been kind of a crazy journey.
And how old
since
was
then.
he?
He was 6 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah, he had just turned 7. He was in 1st grade.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's been kind of a wild ride.
So do
ever
you
since.
work?
I do. I work full-time. I work full-time, and my husband, he works full-time, and he works overtime a lot. So, you know, I mean, we have a good balance, and he helps out a lot, but a lot of the diabetes care falls to me, and I'm not complaining because he does. He helps out a lot. And as you know, I mean, there kind of has to be one person kind of in the driver's seat with the diabetes
Right.
care. So,
And I would agree with that. One of the things that many people had said on social media was that, you know, I saw 2 sides of it. One is my husband never helps out and I have to do it all. And 2 is, oh my God, if we have 2 people doing it, we're overcorrecting, we're giving shots,
Yes.
nobody's keeping track. And so I always take the driver's seat. That's what I do.
Yes,
so
me too.
I just jumped on board and did it. But my husband, I would tell you what, I don't know that I could have done it without him because he was my sanity during this. But, you know, he knows how to do everything. He can give a correction. I mean, I still do all the changes because he's on a pump now. But, I mean, he can still do all that, and I can count on him, and I trust that, you know, he's going to be safe watching our children. Whereas sometimes I read all these posts on social
Yes.
media, and there are people complaining that I can't even go out with my girlfriends because I don't have anybody to watch my children.
Oh, yes.
So that, we could totally get into that another time, but
Yeah.
I'm just like blown away by that. I mean, my husband, you know, sometimes men just irritate you.
Yeah.
They're just men and they're
Yes.
the way they are. But oh my gosh, that would not fly with me. But at the same time, what are you going to do? Be like, get out of my house because you really need the support. So anyways, that's another topic for another day.
Yes.
So since we've started this, we wanted to talk with folks about, Shelly and I were talking, and we just feel like there's a lot of people that are diagnosed every single day. We know it, right? I thought I read somewhere 40 people in the US are diagnosed every single day with type 1 diabetes, children's. And
adults too. There's a lot of
Yeah.
adults diagnosed.
yeah. And the problem is that there's a lot of resources, but and it's not a problem, but I see the same questions posted over and over and over again. And so I guess we just wanted to be another resource for those parents. Some people learn by reading, some people learn by watching. And for me, I learn both ways. I read, I watch a lot of videos. That's how I learn. So what she and I were talking about was recently there were some events that happened in the United States, the storm in Texas.
Yes.
Which was kind of an eye-opener because all of a sudden on all the websites and social media platforms, you're seeing people asking for supplies, diabetic supplies. Can you donate?
We sent some insulin.
So, well, good for you. You're a better person than I am. I sent some syringes because we had a lot of extra ones. And I think some lancets or something because everybody has extra lancets. But I did send those, and I felt darn good about contributing. It wasn't a lot, but it was something, and they will use those supplies. So that's the first thing we kind of talked about was, oh my gosh, a storm. How the heck would you prepare for that? The other thing we talked about was the hurricane.
Yes.
So there's this hurricane in Florida, and okay, so now we've had this two natural disasters in a very short time frame, and the question is, how do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for a natural disaster? So not only that, the third thing that recently happened here in Spokane at Freeman High School, which is actually Rockford,
but very close to Spokane.
like really close, like, drive up Highway 27 and now you're in Rockford.
Yeah.
There was a lockdown at all of our schools. So my kids are in the Central Valley School District. Your kids are in what district?
District 81, because there was a kid who brought a gun to school, and there was a school shooting. He shot 4 kids and killed a student. I mean, it wasn't in our districts, but it affected our kids.
Yeah, and
it was scary.
it was scary. I was working. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. I get this, what did I get? A text or an email or a phone call. I got a phone call. Then I got the text message saying, there's been something happening in the community. It's not in our district, but we are locking down. And I immediately started Googling and found out that there was a shooting in the Freeman district, which upset me because, I know people that go to Freeman, some very good friends.
Well, one of my coworkers, her son has, her son goes to Freeman.
Yeah.
So
I think everybody in Spokane was affected by it because everybody knows Freeman's such a small community. Everybody knows somebody there. So then the question became, okay, now we've had a hurricane, we've had a storm, now a lockdown.
Yeah.
Am I prepared for this? And I know you're prepared for it.
Yes.
You're totally prepared. And I'm the person that says, it's not really, I'm going to agree with all these parents. I'll tell them, oh yeah, I'm totally prepared. But I'm not prepared because it doesn't happen in Spokane. It doesn't happen in Freeman District. It doesn't happen here. But guess what? The reality is it does happen here, and it did. And so I think, just opening your eyes to the fact that as parents of type 1 diabetics, we have to be on top of our game, and we can't think, I could get them their insulin.
Yeah.
I could get it. Because if there was a true lockdown,
our nurse was locked down in her office.
Yeah.
And my kids were in 2 different, they were in their classrooms.
Yeah.
And, I got a call from the elementary school, and they were like, the kids are safe, they're okay, but I'm concerned because my daughter is not independent, so she cannot bolus her lunch, insulin herself.
We've seen the text messages.
Yeah. Yes. And, they were concerned, what about lunch? What if the lockdown isn't over? What are we going to do about lunch? And I said, you know what? She has her bag with her. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I am not worried. She has her bag with her, and her bag has everything she needs in it.
Including instructions?
No, but the teachers all know, in every classroom there are instructions on what to do.
See, so you're like a way better parent than I am. Like I'm not that prepared. So it's a great time to have this discussion.
Yeah.
So that very same day that this happened, what was that, Thursday? Was that Thursday it happened?
Wednesday.
Okay. So when that happened, I immediately wrote, we're very fortunate. We had a part-time nurse last year, and this year we have an LPN and an RN, and they split their time between the 2 elementary schools that are literally next door to each other because there's so many kids in our community. I literally wrote a letter to both of them saying we need to make an addendum, something, to the 504 plan, which states that they need to have supplies in every classroom, because if there was a lockdown, if they're locked down in the gym, they need to have access, he needs to have access to these supplies. And they said that's a great idea. We spoke to the other nurse, and she suggested that he carry a backpack with him all the time, to everywhere he goes. And I thought,
that's what my kids do. They have a little sling bag with them that they carry everywhere. And actually our 504 specifies that until we, meaning us, the endocrinologist, the nursing team, the teachers, deem them developmentally ready, it's actually the adult's responsibility to ensure that it's with them at all times. So they carry it to the playground, they carry it out to lunch, they hand it to an adult, and it's been a smooth process.
so I had a totally different view. I was like, really, one more thing? So my son is 8, he's in the 3rd grade. He wears hearing aids, so that's already something that he's self-conscious about. So to have to carry this extra bag around him all the time, I thought he's not going to want to do that, and I don't want to ask him to do it. He already has to deal with everything else. It makes him so different. So I thought, well, I'll just put a bag in every single classroom. So that's what I did. I went on eBay, because you can buy all your extra supplies that you need on eBay. They're super cheap. I mean, these what are they? The meters, they're like $50, and I picked up $10 a piece. I bought 4 of them. So I will have these little kits, with apple juice and water. And do I have to put insulin in every one of them?
I don't, because I think that a high isn't quite as big of a deal.
I would agree.
I would put maybe a syringe or 2 in, just in case they're locked down for a long period of time and he has a pump malfunction. I mean, you could draw
My pump
from
doesn't malfunction, though.
It could.
No, it won't. It won't.
Oh, but it could.
I know, I'm teasing. So I was going to put the kit together. So, eBay says they'll be here on Wednesday, so I'm going to put, the nurse obviously already has all the supplies she needs. Put one in the classroom, the gym, where else? Music, and library.
What about if they're at an assembly?
Well, that would be in the gym.
That's
where they hold their assemblies.
Well, that's good.
So, I mean, so that was my solution to it. But again, you and I had also briefly talked about the glucagon.
Yes.
So last year, our nurse, I asked her, should I bring a glucagon? And she said, no, because if it gets to that point, I'm going to call 911. It's not that fun to get injected with glucagon. You feel like crap afterwards. So me being the new type 1 diabetic parent, I said, okay. And so your thought on that is?
That is illegal. That is illegal. They are an RN and they absolutely have to inject glucagon. I went through a thing with the ADA last year and talked to an ADA attorney, and in the state of Washington, I don't know if it's federal or not, I haven't researched it that far, but they have to inject glucagon if it's in the physician's orders. They absolutely have to. He has that right.
So I wouldn't necessarily have a gym teacher injecting it, or would I?
No, not unless they're a PDA. So, and that's where, you have to know your state-specific laws. In Washington, there are things called parent-designated adults. So in
PDA,
Washington,
right?
Yeah, you can have a PDA inject glucagon, or you can have a nurse, an RN, I think an LPN can as well. And that's it in the school.
Oh, good to know. So I'll take up that battle.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a battle.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Until you start looking. And so, hopefully by putting this information out there, it's going to help other parents and allow you guys to interact and ask questions, and maybe ask us questions that we can help answer.
Yes.
Or even investigate and learn for ourselves. So, so going forward, I think what we need to make sure that we have is, if there were a hurricane or a storm or something that came through, we,